In this video, we are going to be analysing SoFi Technologies, ticker SoFi. So to get straight into it, we're sitting at around $9 as we're recording this video, down 1% on the day. Now, a few things I want to point out. Firstly, if we go over to the standard deviation channel charts, we can see this is a 6-month chart. On the right, we have a 1-year chart. On the 6-month, we are having a strong uptrend. On the 1 year, we are basically flat with a very slight downtrend. Now, these two charts are telling us different things. Again, it's telling us the short-term trend is strong, but the overall longer-term trend is basically flat. And again, it doesn't mean we're not bullish, but it does mean that if you have them diverging, I'll usually take reduced size because the short-term and the long-term aren't trading in that same direction. So it's one thing to note, potentially less size to be using. Now though, to get onto these key levels, what we can see, again, I've already put these on here so we can be paying attention to. We're starting to sell off. Now, why is this? Because exactly where we come into this red level, 950, and then the other red level we have here, 990. These are our fourth deviations between the 6-month and the 1-year chart. Now this, you barely ever see stocks trade at this value, and even if they do, it tends to be very short-lived. So if we're trading at this level above, we expect that quick sell-off, and that's why we look to play a reversal into that level. And again, we can hit that level quite quickly, and we're already selling off. So does that mean we're not going to continue up anymore? Not to say we're not going to continue up anymore, but it means it's going to be a lot harder and something I wouldn't touch long buys because the risk to reward is no longer there. So what I would be watching from SoFi, at least from an intraday perspective, if you're looking at it for today, tomorrow, or kind of this week, is I'd be paying attention to the anchored VWAP. So what this is a 2-day anchored VWAP, just means it starts from the day previous. And what I'd really be paying attention to is when you're above this, you're bullish. If you're below it, you tend to be bearish. And what you can see with SoFi is we've hit this level, we've sold off quite quickly, we've broken below it, we're currently retesting it. So this is kind of the deal breaker. By the time this video is out, you'll kind of see what direction it's gone, and then we'll go through what's going to happen or what should happen, whichever way it breaks. But if we start breaking above this side, probably back above 115, we can say that anchored VWAP was held, and we could start looking for a break back above $9.50 and look at that 990 target. However, if we do break to the downside, probably want to see a break back below that 890, that recent low. If we do get a break below there, we are probably going to continue down, and we'll talk about the downside first because I think this is kind of more likely. So we have the 855, again, support. If I'm holding it short bias, that's the target. We want to be locking in profits. If I'm a trend trader, it's a potential area to join the trend, but this is a third deviation. You're still extremely overbought. So if you're buying the trend at this level, again, you probably want to be having a tight stop because this is where you can pull back very quickly, but usually the upside moves tend to slow down. And if we break that, we then have our final two targets at 812 and 765. So again, if I'm short bias, these are going to be targets on the way down. If I'm long bias, these are potential areas to be buying into that trend. So whether you're a trend trader or a reversal trader, you will use those levels most likely a bit differently. Now, if we do go to the upside, again, if we retest this 950, considering we've already hit that level, we're a lot more likely to break. So I'd want to see a break above it, come back to test it as a support. If that holds, then we're most likely going to see a move to that 990. From 990, and basically you've got that $10 psychological level. I really wouldn't want to be holding anything long through here. Well, I wouldn't be holding long at this level anyway. I think we're too overbought, but definitely nothing I'd be adding into, nothing I'd be looking to trade long bias because, again, occasionally you will get that stock that continues to break through these levels and just continues to fly. But the majority of the time, if a stock's at this level, they tend to sell off, and they tend to sell off quite heavily. So if we come into that range, again, I'm looking to trade it short bias. The nice thing with SoFi is it does have options. The shares are easy to borrow. So we could most likely, probably the way I'll trade it is probably short the shares, buy the calls. The reason for that is it defines a risk, but we can lock in those shares as we come down to our targets, our $9.50, $9, $8.50s, and then the calls will basically be free. So if it does continue up, which a lot of times does happen in these stocks, you get that strong pullback, and then it will try and make either a dead cat bounce or another big push. And if so, if we can get the share profit locked in, we can hold the calls instead of selling it right away. Let that play out, and then we can maybe or potentially profit on both sides, on the downside and then back to the upside. So that's usually my personal trade plan on stocks like this. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, you will probably enjoy this video too.